teams will need their quarterbacks to step up and lead their offenses on the gridiron today. It's Bradford's Vikings going up against Newton's Panthers. For the call, let's send you out to the broadcast booth, where we'll join our commentators, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
And we welcome all of our viewers inside a place that the folks around here like to call the Vault, and that's Bank of America Stadium in Uptown Charlotte. Just a few moments ago, this building was shaking as the Carolina Panthers emerged from the tunnel here in Charlotte. They are ready to go as the Panthers are set to match up with the Minnesota Vikings. Hi again, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Godden. And you know, Charles, as Larry pointed out in the open, got a couple of great quarterbacks set to square off here this afternoon. That ball's probably going to be flying all over the place, isn't it?
Oh, without a doubt. And the game has never been more quarterback-centric than it is now. And both of these teams have top-flight signal callers.
The Panthers kicker, Graham Gano, set and ready to go as we are off from Charlotte. So here's the Viking offense making their way out. The former Oklahoma Sooner will be leading the charge in his 8th season now under center Sam Bradford.
I know he doesn't move around the same way as he did as a youngster because of all the knee injuries, but he's always been a natural athlete. Coming out of high school, a lot of people thought he could play Division I college basketball. Other people have told me no matter what the sport, if he's never played it before, he'll pick it up and be proficient right out of the gate. The kind of guy that absolutely drives you crazy, even if he's your friend.
I was just going to say, beats you at ping pong, beats you at foosball, beats you at golf. Yeah, drives you crazy. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down. And the offensive starters for the Vikings.
Minnesota had a very optimistic vision of what they would do on offense in 2016, but a couple of key injuries altered that landscape. Running back Adrian Peterson and quarterback Teddy Bridgewater. That led to them scrambling throughout the season to try and fit together their offense, try to put the running game and a new passing game together, and instead of having a big year, they finished 28th overall in total offense.
Encroachment defense.
So 5 yards there as one of the big guys up front moved.
And in a 4-3 front, you got the two defensive tackles right near the football. I know there's a lot of movement around there, but they're always taught to have one eye on the football. Apparently, that didn't happen.
A play fake to Murray. Now Bradford. Looking for Diggs, and it's intercepted. Picked up by James Bradbury. Certainly not how they envisioned ending their opening drive here in the first quarter.
Too many ones in this play. First quarter, first drive, first interception thrown.
And that last one, that hurts. Now the Panthers offense, they get set to come back onto the field. Really nice starting field position here for the offensive unit. Now following the interception, here's Newton. Caught left side by Funchess. And he's going to go out of bounds. He takes this one down shy of the 20. And the play goes for 19 yards. Gives him a new set of downs. Just the first quarter of a tackling going to be so important going forward. They've got to limit plays like that.
And that's something when you see it happen early in the game and they don't get him on the ground, you can always tell that they were concerned about it going in. Because I can just tell you from my days, I remember being in college and worrying all off-season about our season-open opponent. And they had a receiver that could shake and bake with the best of them. I tackled him on the first pass of the game, and the relief was incredible. I ended up having a pretty decent ball game. But if I'd missed him, it would have been a long night.
Boy, that's a lot of sirloin steak to be taken down for no gain, partner.
Are you trying to suggest that he is a huge man?
He is
not just a big man, a huge man.
Big boy.
Well, how about the credit then for the defense to be able to chop that big tree and put him on the ground?
I know back when you played, it took 4 of you to take a guy like that down, right?
Well, that's for sure. And you know what else? I didn't want to challenge him at dinner either. I know our vantage point might be a little bit better way up here, but that looked like an ill-advised throw to me. I didn't see anything open, and this play just didn't look right from the beginning.
It did not. I thought he might get outside and just chuck it away. Dangerous pass, incomplete. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Really been an ideal start for them. They get the turnover on the opening possession. Now here they are moving the ball straight down the field on their first drive.
And that feels good, but you know on their side of the field, all they're thinking is, finish this drive off because they took it away, right? So now you got them back on their heels a little bit. Now go down, put a touchdown on them. Look out. You've won the mental battle early in the game, and that may carry.
And he's got it. Touchdown, Panthers. Greg Olsen from 3 yards out. And the Panthers are going to take a first-quarter lead. What a great weapon. So often, such a big mismatch.
And there's no route he can't run. You name it, he's going to do it, and he's a matchup nightmare for the defense. No matter who they put on him, he's going to win the battle.
Graham Gano on for the extra point. And this will be good to give the Panthers a 7-0 lead. 5 plays there on that drive. And Carolina scores to cap it off. Gano out to kick this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Vikings offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. Stephon Diggs, his intended receiver, and it's 2nd down. And the starting defense here for the Panthers.
When I saw that the Carolina Panthers were ranked 21st in total defense in 2016, I thought it was a misprint. This is a very talented defense, but they didn't play up to those standards in 2016. Perhaps the loss of Josh Norman at corner hurt them in the secondary. Luke Kuechly, their middle linebacker and their heart and soul of their defense, wasn't able to play a complete season, and they didn't get the same pass rush in 2016 that they had in the previous year when they went to the Super Bowl.
Now a first carry for Latavius Murray. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. Just a couple there on the 2nd down run. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8 situation.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Foreseeing completion on 1st down. Then you're able to shut down the running play on 2nd.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in an expected passing situation.
He's going to let this one go deep. He's got a man complete. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this into enemy territory across the 40. That one goes for 36 yards.
Now that play will end up on the highlights, and you'll see it all over the place. But what you won't see, the offensive line that bought the extra time, that allowed for the big completion downfield, those guys made that play possible.
On 1st down, Murray. And tough sledding. He'll get maybe a yard. Stop short of the 35.
Well, if the coaching staff's doing a good job upstairs, they'll file away what they just saw from the defense right there. They sold out to stop that running play. I'd say keep that in mind. They want to try that again. Go play action and hit them over the top.
The play fake to Murray. Now it's Bradford. The left side caught by Diggs. And he's going to be taken down, but not before reaching the 15-yard line. A good pick up there of 20 yards. Well, no matter your experience level as a quarterback, you throw an interception on that first drive, maybe a little shaken up. Nice response there to get their first down.
I think you make an excellent point. I don't care who you are. You throw an interception, it's going to get to you a little bit. But the ones that we've seen that are the best, you never notice it. They don't come to the bench, throw their helmets, they don't do any of that. They just go back out the next drive and act like it never happened. And that's what we're seeing here.
Going with a screen for Murray. And he goes backwards here, losing yardage back to the 16.
You know what the key to a good screen pass is, don't you?
But you're going to tell me, good blocking?
Well, good blocking eventually. But first is good acting. You want to let the defenders go past you, leak out to whichever side or even in the middle where you want to set up the screen, and then you do your blocking. How about the read, though, by the defensive guys? They weren't fooled at all and actually ran with the lineman to where the play was and smothered it for a loss of yardage.
They'll wind up losing 3, and now it's 3rd down.
Count me as a little bit surprised by what we just saw there because this has been a pretty long drive, and normally you think that wears down a defense. In this case, looked like the offensive line let them down a little bit.
Yeah, allowed the penetration and the ability to stuff them for a loss. Couple of plays sent them the wrong way, and now they face a 3rd and 14. Now we've got movement up front, and I think this is going to be on Minnesota.
False start, offense.
And that'll set them back 5. And now they're looking for 19 yards here on 3rd down following 2 negative plays. Working out of the gun, Bradford. And Rudolph has it, the tight end. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. It'll be a pickup of 13 on the play, and that'll bring up 4th down.
The NFL on EA Sports is fueled by Gatorade, the sports fuel company.
Back now with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Second quarter begins with the Vikings holding the football. They are, however, facing a 4th down situation. And Forbath will put this one through. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3.
Well, it's not unusual to know that Kai Forbath has kicked for multiple NFL teams, right? Washington, New Orleans. Then he took over the Vikings job when Blair Walsh ended his tenure there when he was struggling. How about his start with the Vikings, though? Made 15 straight.
Yeah, he took over in Week 10, and you're right, hit every field goal the rest of the season. Fielded about a yard deep. Onto the field, here come the Panthers. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
They start on the ground. This is Stewart on first. And he'll get about 3 here as he's out to the 30.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. On 2nd down, they run with Stewart. He takes this from the 30 to the 34.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
They'll try and run it. Here's Stewart. And unable to get downhill there as he'll take this up to about the 37. 3 yards won't be enough here as that'll bring it up 4th down.
From this vantage point, they've got the lead here. So for me, that'd be enough to go ahead and punt the football and let my defense defend the long field.
If you go for it, you don't get it, then you really put your defense in a tight spot.
Yeah, but we never know what people ultimately will decide to do here on 4th and inches.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field stands.
Andy Lee, three-time All-Pro on to punt. Marcus Sherrill's back deep for Minnesota. Sherrill's to return it. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And it'll be Viking football here as they take possession. The Vikings offense now heading out to take over. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
They go play action here on first down. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Thomas Davis coming hard on the blitz. He dumps him for a loss of 8.
Look, Carolina had a number of issues last year, and that's why they slumped to 6-10 after a Super Bowl appearance. But pass rush wasn't a problem for them. They still got to the quarterback.
47 total sacks. That was just one behind Arizona, who led the league.
Yeah, I think the biggest issue for them, young corners that gave up a lot of big plays.
That was second down run for Murray. Murray fighting, lost the football, and it's picked up by the Panthers. And they'll set up shop in enemy territory at the 45-yard line.
They may have the edge on the scoreboard, but that hasn't made them passive, has it? I mean, they've dialed up a pretty good run blitz there. And Brandon, you know that all blitzes aren't just designed to get to the quarterback and the passer. Sometimes you're just trying to take away every gap, every hole that might be created in the running game, and they did it to perfection and caused a fumble there.
Took away the gaps, took away the holes, took away the football. Following the fumble recovery, Newton. And incomplete there, almost picked off. That's one you maybe expect your roaming free safety to come up with. But it's second down.
Let's face it, you can run the route tree as many times as you want, get in sync, practice it, do all those things. But once you get to game speed, it doesn't always time up quite that well. That one goes incomplete.
Newton turns and hands to Stewart. And just a short gain that time as they're able to get him down. 1 yard, the official pickup there, so it's going to set up 3rd and 9.
The best defensive linemen, they play with great leverage so they can get low and not get bowled over by offensive linemen. They have excellent hands. They can throw people off on a play. We just saw a great example of a really good run stop by a guy playing the defensive tackle position.
He may try and run for this. Newton able to use those legs and get past the marker to pick up the first. So an instance there of Cam being Cam. We know he can use his legs.
And with that big body, it's hard to get him down, even if you get a clear shot on him. Plus, he moves it a lot faster than what people think. And boy, does he have fun playing the game of football.
They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. Now Stewart on first down. He winds up getting only a couple there, down to the 29. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. Back with more from Charlotte after this. A reminder, coming up at halftime, Larry Ridley will join us from Orlando with our halftime report, but business to take care of before that. They'll try the air now with Newton. And his throw here's incomplete. Well, too much oomph, too much mustard there on that pass.
They really turned it loose, didn't they? Really cut loose with that one. Sharp, strong. Didn't lead to a completion, though. Made it very difficult.
Throwing on third down, Newton. Dancing to his left. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And the Vikings pick up the football. Now the Vikings offense works their way back onto the field. And a fumble last time. Ball security. Talk about it all the time in the National Football League. They've got to be better at it on this front.
Don't you think that when every team gets together for the first time, I don't care if it's OTAs, mini camps, first day of camp in the regular season, ball security comes up about what, the second sentence of the coach's address?
And those are so many drills focus on that.
All the time, and they do drills to make it even tougher to simulate game situations. Doesn't always work out, though.
Now a second down throw for Bradford. And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up third down.
The one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown him a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after him. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. Now the Georgia Southern man. This is Jerick McKinnon. The Panthers are going to take another timeout. So that means they're down to one remaining here as we head toward halftime. So the defense had a chance to catch their breath, and now they're back out and ready. Here's Ryan Quigley now, as his first punt will come from inside his own end zone. That's pulled in at the 32. 12 yards on the return that time. And the Panthers will get it here as they take possession. Jonathan Stewart now gearing up to go on offense as he takes the field. It's the second quarter. His team has the lead, but I think he's hoping for a little bit more production out of himself.
And we often talk about preaching patience to a runner when things are a little bumpy in the early going, but we have to do the same thing with the offensive line. They can't wait to halftime to make the adjustments. They have to do it from series to series so those surface tablets come into play. Check out what the defense is doing and see if they can find a better way to run it.
So they search for that patience here now. The escapability in evidence there as that one good for 15 and a first. Newton on first down. And caught left side, Olsen. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. 12 yards there as they move the chains.
We've been together a little while now, partner. How often do we actually describe tight ends as nifty? Because that's what I think of when I see Greg Olsen on the field. His ability to run routes, create space and separation, and make those catches downfield.
Yeah, sure consistent. The numbers the last couple years almost identical and both over 1,000-yard seasons. Looking for the end zone. Looking for Funchess, but it's intercepted. Picked off by Anderson Aho. And he'll go down inside the 15 at his own 13-yard line.
And, Brandon, this is a real nice job defensively of getting inside a quarterback's head and figuring out, okay, where's he going with the football? Because you can make an educated guess defensively, not all the time, but sometimes. And when you're right, you've got a decent chance of coming away with the football.
Here's Stephon Diggs as he and the rest of the offense get ready to go again. They've got to be thinking, how can we get him a little bit more involved here? Second quarter, you're down, and really, he's been out of the mix.
I would agree with that, and oftentimes you hear, well, we're just taking what the defense is giving us, but sometimes that's just not good enough. Sometimes you have to take what you want, and that means getting him the football.
Yeah, so far just a single catch in this game. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs. play of the half. Bradford. And he goes out of bounds just shy of the 45. So it's halftime here in Charlotte with the Panthers out on top. As we send you down to Orlando where we check in with Larry Ridley and our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Larry.
Thanks, Brandon. I'm Larry Ridley, and welcome to our EA Halftime Report. The Panthers are up right now and are looking to keep up the pressure moving forward. The Vikings didn't play their best, and they'll need to be at their best now to come back. All right, let's roll those moving pictures. Vikings opening the game on offense. Under duress, and the pass is picked off. Bradbury's reading the play and comes away with it, ending the drive. After the pick, offense comes out now. Newton's got the completion here, and this 4-play drive goes for a touchdown. Now early in the second quarter, as they take a 7-0 lead. Sam Bradford on the money to Adam Thielen. And he'll end up at the 45-yard line before being tackled. A fumble with later in the drive. So that's a wrap for us. We'll head back now to Bank of America Stadium for the start of the second half.
So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. Fozzie Whitaker now on the return. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. Getting set to go again here. Cam Newton marches back onto the field. And he's had some time to chew on that interception he threw on his last drive back in the first half.
Well, normally we say, want to get him right back out on the field and play again, right? But as you mentioned, had the halftime, had to stew about it a little bit. Maybe he'll have a chance to relax a little and kind of laugh and chuckle and let it go.
He'll hope to respond positively here to start the third. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Everson Griffin able to get in and run him down for what'll be a loss of 15 yards.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And down he'll go at the 25. It'll be a pickup of 10 yards. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here.
By the way, partner, that was a 30-year-old running back carrying the ball there.
Yeah, turned 30 back in March, did Stewart.
Yeah, I know that people say that you're not supposed to at the age of 30, but Jonathan Stewart, good style, good physicality. He'll continue to run it.
Hoping to keep him healthy. Hasn't played a full 16 games since 2011. On the catch, this is Russell Shepard. They'll get 11, but it'll still lead to a 4th down.
They didn't get the first down, but I have to say I do like the call. I like what they were trying to do. Try and hit your receiver on the run and see if he can pick it up, keep it on his feet, get a little rack yardage.
Yeah, but a nice job defensively to get to him and keep him short of the first. His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. And that one hits a little too close to the goal line, and it continues into the end zone for a touchback. It's the Vikings' turn on offense. We get ready for their first possession of the second half. They were able to get the stop defensively. Now a chance to turn that into points on the offensive end.
Can you imagine what the grease board looks like at the half? Because
no, tell me.
That's exactly what they printed up. Stop them on defense, get the ball back for our offense, and go downfield and score some points. Now, the last part remains.
Pressure comes in. He's brought down. It's a Panther sack. Charles Johnson in there to bring him down for a loss of 7. And they weren't in zone coverage. They were in man, and each man did his job.
And that looked like vintage, old-school coverage, didn't it? Man coverage reminded me of an old Raiders team. They had a Hall of Famer at one corner and a Defensive Player of the Year at the other, and they just locked people down.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll go down after losing yardage at the 10. So he loses 3 yards there. Now 3rd down.
Charles Johnson's stock in trade is coming off the edge and getting to the quarterback. He knows how to make some of those subtle moves inside to help in the run game, and he did it right there.
He's an athlete back in high school, played football, basketball, track, so he's a mobile guy.
Mobile guy, made a nice play against the run.
To throw is Bradford. It's complete to Diggs. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. Give him 19 on the play, but they will still come up a bit short. And now it's 4th down.
Boy, they had a lot of real estate to make up there, but what a big-time play for them. Nice completion, excellent game. Now they're in 4th and manageable.
Just a little short, though, with that marker. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. This will be fielded at the 17. Officially, that'll go as a 52-yard punt. Not too shabby. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. And the Vikings defense ready to head back out there now. They have a little something to build off of from last time with a 3-and-out.
And what they have to build off of? Great confidence right now. Being able to stuff someone on a 3-and-out. You feel like you're in control now. You're doing the dictating. They want to see if that can continue as this game progresses.
Will it continue? We'll see. They'll start the drive with a run by Stewart. That is not going to be any help as they dump him behind the line of scrimmage.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
This is Stewart again. And he'll take this up only to about his 18-yard line. He'll get a couple yards back, but not more than that. They'll be left with 12 yards to go on 3rd down.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
The Panthers on 3rd down, 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd down and 12. A shotgun snap for Newton. And he finds a man. It's Olsen. Greg Olsen, nobody ahead of him. And he is down deep into Minnesota territory. A big play there on the catch and run. 71 yards. These two, Newton and Olsen, they have formed quite a partnership. Olsen, 3 straight years over 1,000 yards receiving. The first time in NFL history, Charles, that a tight end's done that 3 consecutive seasons.
And the tight end's supposed to be an accessory to an offense. But in Carolina, Greg Olsen is the primary receiver.
Now a 10th carry for Jonathan Stewart. And he'll fight his way down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
This is what happens sometimes when you abandon the running game. It's hard to get back to it because once guys get out of that mentality of firing out and hitting people, hard to get them started again occasionally.
And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this 3rd quarter. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. And we're back now in Charlotte. It's the Panthers out in front and in control of the football as well as we begin quarter number 4. Here's Newton now on 2nd down. The quick slant caught. A Carolina first, Newton to Benjamin. Great change up there on the route and got that inside release, made it a successful pitch and catch.
Well, the first thing you want to do is have him thinking that you're going outside, make a move in that direction. Then you really don't run the route against the whole body of the defender. You run against a half of him, and the inside half, and he took it right across his face, got inside, and won that route in a big way.
Time running out here on the play clock. Back to throw, Newton. And he will score. Touchdown, Panthers. Cam Newton, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Panthers are able to grow their lead. So a quarterback scramble, certainly a pass play, but he saw something, tucked it, and got in the end zone.
A lot of quarterbacks, when they scramble, they're scrambling to create more time to throw the ball downfield. In this situation, as you noted, he tucked it and took off. Great play by him.
This one's right through to make it a 14-3 ball game. That time a 6-play drive. And Cam able to take it himself in for the score. Gano out to kick this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Now the Vikings offense gets set to take over here. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
On 1st and 10, Bradford. He'll find Thielen work in the middle. A gain of 6 there on 1st. They need a touchdown, the 2-point conversion, and a field goal. Pretty good start to the drive, though.
Yeah, good start to the drive, but the urgency has to really be increased by both the players on the field and everyone on the sidelines. Got to make sure everyone is up and into this game.
Second down, Bradford. Finding a safety valve here. That's complete. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. You're down 2 scores. I don't think you need to rush just yet, but you can't take your time either.
Yeah, even if you don't want to commit to full 2-minute offense, you have to up the tempo, up the urgency. Maybe you're starting to call 2 plays in a huddle each time you snap the ball.
And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18.
Quarterbacks love slant routes because the receivers are breaking right into their line of vision, and receivers love them as well because they're getting the ball on the move and able to catch it and try and get upfield and gain additional yardage.
Bradford on 1st down. Out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. Flashed the stick skills, but didn't get a ton from it. Stopped short of the 35. It's a 4-yard pickup, and it'll be a 2nd down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Bradford again. Throw left side on target to Thielen. And he's going to be out of bounds down inside the 20. 17 yards on the pickup there. The drive will continue. It's a 1st down. Clock management definitely critical here if they want to get back in this game.
Absolutely agreed. They have to up the tempo in this case, down a couple of scores. Want to make sure they have a chance to win this ball game.
A toss to Murray. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
Wasn't that long ago that the NFL guys really didn't adopt much from the college game. But one thing that has crept in there is spreading things out, opening things up, not even just in tempo, but maybe getting better line splits and spreading the field. I think that would be a great strategy right now to try and open things up in the run game.
A little bit of ground to make up for the offense as they face a 2nd and 11. Back to the ground, this time Cook. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down. Time for a break. We'll come back and see this one out after this. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. They face a 3rd down now as they try to find a late score. From the gun, Bradford. And he'll just toss it away. So he throws it away, and that brings up 4th down.
What's the old adage? Be quick, but don't hurry. Well, that went right out the window there. He was hurried, harassed. That ball had to be gotten rid of, otherwise he was going to get sacked.
And Forbath will put this one through. And a second field goal here cuts their deficit to 14-6 now. So you knew one way or another that you needed 2 scores. They get the easy one out of the way. Now they'll need to get the ball back.
So, Brandon, the question is, how do you accomplish that? You can onside kick it, but remember, since you've got all 3 timeouts, you can still kick it deep and try to play defense.
Carolina getting set to take the field. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away. You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
Newton gives off to Stewart, and he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. And now the Vikings are going to stop it here on defense with a timeout. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. And now following that timeout, the defense back out onto the field. The Panthers on 3rd down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This is 3rd and 8. Another run, this time McCaffrey. Now a second timeout called for by the defense. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. All right, so the timeout over and all 11 men back out onto the field for the defense. Here's Andy Lee now as he's on to punt for Carolina. Here's Sherrills. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. And now out comes Minnesota. They're down here in a 1-score game. But the time, it's a factor, but it's not a huge factor right now, is it?
It's really not, because this amount of time gives them a chance to run their offense, to go through play sequences. And this is what they work on every week in practice, usually on a Friday. They go over this type of a situation, late-game situation. What are we going to do when we have the opportunity?
And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. K'Wan Short in there to drop him as the clock continues to roll. Back to throw. Over the middle here to Rudolph. And he's taken down, but not before getting this across midfield and just shy of the 40. An excellent pickup of 34 yards. Back to throw. The throw left side complete to Treadwell. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down.
It didn't check off every box, but the most important one. Got the clock stopped, getting out of bounds. It may be a little short of the 1st down, but I thought that was the key.
They'll look to throw. And right with it here over the middle. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 15, just shy of the 10. A really nice gain of 25 yards. offense looking to avoid a 3rd and long. It's 2nd and 10. He'll look to throw. This will be caught just inside the 10. Showed off the juke, but still corralled shy of the 5 at the 6-yard line. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. He's back to throw. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked up by James Bradbury. And a great return as they're finally able to take him down.
Well, they needed the touchdown and the 2-point conversion, but they're not going to get a shot at either. This is a great play here defensively, Brandon, and at a time that they sorely needed one. And that could be enough to help get them out of here with a victory.
The Panthers down to a knee out of the victory formation. Now the defense will burn their 3rd and final timeout. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. And this one going to wrap up with Cam Newton going down to a knee. And, Charles, I think when the schedule comes out, all teams, no matter where they're predicted to finish, talk about protecting your home turf. They were able to do that here in this one.
Similar to a tennis match, right? Not letting them break your serve. That way you hold on to it. They got it done, and they feel very good about that victory.
So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. The Panthers are winners here as we say so long from Charlotte.